Welcome back to Fab Automotive Detailing. You guys, this video, I guess this would be episode 3 of a wash and talk. I know I said I was going to scale back my videos a little bit, but I need to wash my truck again. And these are really easy to do. I can't wait to actually wash the real way one day. But right now, weather's not permitting, and I need to get this truck good and cleaned. You guys are going to see it was clean, but it got dusty. I had to actually repair my daughter's car. I had to put some brakes on it. I had to figure out this vibration, which ended up being rocks up in her rear engine mount. Did an oil change, rotated tires, did all that stuff. So I had to put this outside overnight. Well, it sprinkled, and now my truck just looks like dust dots. I mean, all over, which you guys will see in just a minute. So I do need to get it washed. I want to show you guys what I'm going to use in this video. My truck is not ceramic coated, so if you remember the last video, I was testing a new rinseless wash product from a company, testing it for them, and on my wife's car, which is ceramic coated with my Fab Freedom coating, it felt so good. Now I want to see what it's going to feel like on a car that is not ceramic coated. Towards the end of the video, if you stick around, I'm also testing what they call a wax topper. See that? We're going to try that in like one spot of the truck just to see what it's like. Sorry, that's my camera system beeping over there. We're going to be using Easy Shine Yellow. Now this is a product that I'm looking at selling to my dealerships from Distinctive Details. They are more of a dealership brand, not a DIY brand, but they have great products for DIY people. So I'm testing this out to see if this is, I've been testing, as you guys can see. I'm still testing this out and see if it's something that I want to carry on my truck. I'm using the Platinum Series, their blue microfiber, and then the same drying towels that we used last time. And this sprayer here is from RBL Products. I got this at the very first Southern Detailers Conference that I went to. I just put my logo on it. It's just one of my stickers that I had. I love this sprayer. I need to figure out how I can sell this sprayer is what I need to do. But let's get started. And wow, that mango scent, I'm telling you, on that rinseless wash is addicting. It smells so good. But let's get you guys set up. So kind of like my last videos, we're going to kind of just go with the flow on this one. Don't really have anything in particular that I want to talk about. So I might talk about some stuff that happened in my life recently, which is pretty cool. So this weekend, if you don't know, my daughter is in gymnastics. Ooh, that's way too much. My daughter's in gymnastics, and we were at a gymnastics event that was put on by, if you know anything about gymnastics, Caitlin Ohashi, I think is how you say her name. She was a gymnast for, I think it's UCLA. And me and my daughter, Ashlyn, we used to watch her on TV all the time. She was so entertaining to watch. So I had no idea that this event was put on by her. Well, she was there taking pictures with the girls, signing autographs, which was all just really, really cool. I don't know if you guys saw all the crap is on this hood a minute ago, but it's just dust. That's all it is. It's not dirt. It's just from sitting in the garage, getting dusty, and then it went out into the rain. But you can see even dust is dirty. But it was really cool. And Ashlyn, she is getting really good at pretty much all aspects of gymnastics. Now, she's only been in gymnastics for 3 years now. All the girls, pretty much all the girls that she's competing against have been doing it basically their entire life. She started late. She started when she was 8 years old. But she keeps moving up every year. She's doing really, really good. She's been finishing in first a lot here recently, especially on balance beam, which used to be her worst part of gymnastics. She hated balance beam. And I think because good old dad talked to her, I told her, I said, like when she'd go to do her, this is a drying aid, or you can use this dry, but this is just a drying aid. When she go to do like her cartwheel on the balance beam, she would stop right before the cartwheel. Well, she's getting in her head, right? And I played sports my entire life, baseball, football. I know all about getting in your own head when it comes to anything in sports, really. I told her, I said, stop thinking. Just go out there, do what you practice. Don't think about the cartwheel. Don't think about the back handspring, the back, what's it called, a back walkover. I'm not really good with the names, but I'm trying to learn them. Just don't think about it. And she has been scoring really well. I think she scored a 9.6 2 weeks ago on Beam. And then she scored a 9.5 this past weekend on Beam. Gosh, this truck is terrible. She is just doing so good. And her coaches are just in awe that she's only been doing this now. This is her 3rd year of gymnastics. So really proud of her. And that was a really cool event. The cool thing about that event was Ashley, my daughter's short. She's 4'8". Now she's only 11. She's going to grow more. She's 4'8". When after the event was over and she came and talked to us, she said, "Dad, I was almost as tall as her." She was so excited. She was almost as tall as her because that Caitlin, look her up, you guys. Look up Caitlin. I'm pretty sure it's Ohashi floor routine. It will blow your mind. She is so good. She was like a 10-time All-American. She would have went probably to the Olympics and everything, but she actually tore both shoulders and she broke her back. So she had to call it quits. She was really good, but my daughter was just so excited that she was just as tall as her. But yeah, she was really cool with the girls, talking to the girls, doing all that stuff and making the girls' days really. But let me get you guys moved around. So yeah, that was pretty cool to experience that right there. As you guys can notice, we're trying to rearrange our garage. So I have the Honda motorcycle on a motorcycle jack, lawnmower jack, whatever you want to call it, because I need to take this lift, the actual lift, and get it back to the tool shed, get out of my garage, because we have this is the worst time of year for Indiana for storms. We got a really bad storm coming this weekend, they're saying so far. And I need to be able to get 2 vehicles in here to protect at least two of my vehicles. So I want to get that out of here so I can move the Harley up there, move that over, and we can fit the Yukon XL over here. Let's keep on going. You know, I do wonder where the detailing market is headed. We kind of talked about this last week when I got a question kind of on that same subject. Like, do you think it's reached peak? I kind of think it has reached its peak. I think it's kind of on the downslope now, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. I'm just not seeing the excitement around, you know, new products, new coatings, or anything like that like I used to see. I think it's just because coatings haven't really changed much other than the name on the bottle. That's about the only thing that's really changed. And you got a lot of people that are, I don't want to say married to a brand, but loyal to a brand. How about that? I'm okay with saying that, loyal to a brand. And they are not willing to try anything new. And I never realized that until I own this business. And I go around to these dealerships. And the funny thing about the dealerships are they're not paying the bill, right? The detailers. So they don't care what they spend. Because my whole thing when I go in a place is, look, I can save you quite a bit of money over buying, you know, Carbrite, because Carbrite, the big brand to dealerships. Impact. Now, Impact is very price comparable to me, so I don't really sell it as like that. But I always sell or try to sell that I can save you money over Carbrite, because that's a no-brainer there. There are sometimes 3 times the cost of like what I am on a degreaser or a tire shine or a spray on wax, something like that. They are so expensive. Now, if you don't know who Carbrite is, Carbrite used to be owned by an Indiana company. It was started here in Indiana. And when I was a teenager, you could actually go to their facility, walk in, and you could buy products. Well, they got bought out by, they used to make their own products too. They got bought out by Valvoline. And now Valvoline just has a distributorship where you pay to be a distributor. You can carry their products, kind of like what I do for Distinctive. You can carry their products, but you have the right to the Carbrite name on your vehicle. And dealerships, for whatever reason, they like seeing that come on in the parking lot. I don't get it, because I've gone in dealerships trying to sell products, and one in particular, a dealership that's not a customer of mine, obviously. When I walked in, I handed them my business card, a price sheet, started not giving him a sales pitch because I'm not a salesman. I'm more of a talker. Started giving him my little pitch, I guess. He handed me my card back, handed me my price list back, and he said, I know that I'm paying way too much for my Carbright products, but I've been with Carbright all these years, and I am not willing to switch. I kind of get that, but I kind of don't, because he was a service manager, and he basically told me he doesn't care what he pays for detailing products as long as it has the Carbright name on it. Which I'm finding out is the case. But what I have found out, the reason why I found it out here recently, is Carbright dealerships give the service managers a kickback for all their sales. Which I'm a small company. I can't do that. Can't afford to do that. I'd love to be able to afford to do that. But you're buying loyalty. So when the next guy comes in and does the same thing, you're going to lose that customer because they're going to say, well, this guy's going to pay me even more per month if I buy their products. But if you've never heard of Carbright, look them up. They've been around for a very long time. They used to have very good products, but now they don't make their own products ever since Valvoline bought them out. I don't know who the blender is, but there's only a few blenders, so I'm guessing it's B&B. But that's just a guess, only because they're big. Valvoline's big, so they probably work something out. But it just kills me what they charge for these 5-gallon squares to these dealerships, and the dealerships just say, yeah, okay. The other thing that these Carbright guys do, and by the way, you saw me not do that section back there because I did that off camera. Another thing these Carbright guys do, I don't wish I could do this because I would never screw a customer. They basically walk into a dealership, don't talk to the detailers, walk in and just leave them stuff. 5 gallons of this and 5 gallons of that. And my dealerships have told me, like, man, he just dropped this off and this is so expensive. You know, this is $500 for 2 5-gallon jugs and we don't even need them. I said, well, call him and tell him to take it back. And they're like, nah, we can't do that. I've been doing business with him for a long time. That's why he's doing it. He knows that you're not going to call him. He knows that you're not going to say anything. So that has always driven me nuts ever since I started this, was everybody's afraid of the Carbright. Don't make the Carbright guy mad. And it's just, I don't know, it's kind of mind-blowing to me. You're that scared of just somebody that sells you detailing products. But I just don't see where the detailing world is going. We got all these new brands coming out. The market is absolutely flooded. Man, I need to clean the inside of that, but I'll do that when I actually wash it. The market is absolutely flooded with products now. There's a million, like I'm testing this rinseless wash for a company. There's a million rinseless washes on the market. Here's my thing. We overthink it. We always do. We always have, really. If you're somebody that, hey, I want my car to be shiny. I take it through crew car wash, Myers car wash, whatever you want to call it these days, crew car wash. I take it through there. I'm happy with it. That's great. As long as you're happy with the results you get, however you get them does not matter. If I see swirls in somebody's car, but they don't care about those swirls, why should I care about those swirls? I don't care less. I care about my cars. But we overthink it, man. 30 buckets and all these different rinseless washes and different pads and towels, and just wash your car and have fun. And I see it on Facebook all the time. Everybody overthinks it. I've never been that type. I've always been the type like, I get the results I like. I'm happy. But yeah, the market's flooded. It's saturated. And I don't see where the market is going to go from here. All I'm seeing are these companies come out. Some are charging an arm and a leg. Some have really good prices. And it's just mind-blowing to me that people just give them all their business out of nowhere. But that is what it is there. Anyways, yeah, get you set up. Man, the top is so bad. Let me show you guys the top, just so you can kind of get an idea. This is kind of what the hood looked like. The sides didn't look as bad. Yeah. That is so bad. And I had to drive it like this to Ohio for that event on Sunday because I didn't have time to wash it. So I drove it dirty. And guess what? It still drove the same dirty as it did clean. So that's all that matters. This is a perspective you guys don't get very often. I got the garage door open because it's nice enough right now. I wish I could just wash this normal, but we're still getting below freezing at nighttime. So I don't want to get the hose out and undo the spigot, and because I got it all winterized. And so this is the way it is. Plus, I seem to rinseless wash. I would rather rinseless wash all day, every day versus getting a bucket out. And the reason why at this point is laziness for me. If I had a setup like Pan's got the perfect setup. He's got running water in his garage, drains in his garage. He can do anything he wants in his garage. I wish I had that setup. That would be so awesome. I would wash it normal every time if I had that setup. Just because I feel like, especially in your cracks and your crevices, and by the way, this rinseless wash is nice and slick. I mean, it glides so easy. I don't know. I'd just be more willing to do it because I feel like you get into cracks and crevices a lot better when you use a pressure washer. Like my running boards over there, they have dirt and spots that I cannot get out with just rinseless washing. It needs a hose, pressure washer, you know, the whole 9 yards. I better dry this really quick. The sun's on it. Still got to do the bumper, but I don't want to paint the spot. So we found a shop that I was going to run the business out of and start detailing full time and still run the business. We figured out how I could do it. That'd bring more income in. Because to be honest with you, the business, the website, the truck, and it's the economy right now, and you know everything that's going on. It's so bad, you guys. I mean, my sales are down 75% from this time last year. I can't survive much longer like that. But if I could detail, have the store detail, I can make that work for sure. You know, I basically just need 1-2 ceramic coatings a week and I'll be good to go. Just one, honestly, would be fine for me. And plus I still have the route, so I just need really one or two good ceramic coatings a week, and I can make that work pretty easy. Well, anyways, we found the shop. It was perfect. I mean, perfect. I could fit my van in there at nighttime, because that's another struggle I have, especially in the wintertime. I could fit my van in there at nighttime. I have room to have, I would have had room for my van, a customer's car, and probably another car to detail. I could have fit 3 cars in that place easily. Well, anyways, it was the price I needed, the price I was willing to spend. How about that? The price I was willing to spend because I didn't know how it would go over. I was going to move out of the shop that I'm in now, which the shop I'm in now is just a storefront and a little bit of, not even really a warehouse, just places to put the products on shelves where I could pull for the truck. I would have had that store there, and I had the detailing. So found the place. It was on Facebook Marketplace, and it literally had just been listed. He even said that you're the first person that's contacted me. He said, I've been a little bit under the weather, got whatever's going around, which we got some nasty stuff going around. I forget the name of it, norovirus, I think it's going around. It's really bad. He said, I'm under weather, but I should be fine in the next day or two. So I'll get with you and you can come take a look at it. I said, cool. Well, 2 days went by, I didn't hear from him, so I texted him again, messaged him through Facebook Messenger. Messaged him again, and he said, I am almost 100%. He said, this was a Thursday. He said, I really need a couple more days because I'm just not feeling still great yet. I said, okay, no problem. He said, I'll be good Monday. He said, meet me at the shop at 5 o'clock on Monday. I said, I'll be there at 5:15 because I got to meet my wife there. She's owner of the business. She wants to see the business or the shop also, because this place was huge bay, huge, and then it was wide. And then on the other side, you had 3 offices, which I could have turned into 1 office, 1 shipping room, and then 1 store, the storefront. So Monday comes around. I take my daughter to gymnastics in the afternoon. This is about an hour before I'm supposed to be there. I get a message from him on Facebook Messenger. Sorry, somebody came and looked at it and they already rented it. Oh, I was livid. I was so upset because I was the first person to contact him. I waited and waited and waited. I contacted him again, and I waited and I waited. And that was the only one in town that I could even come close to affording for the business. So I'm still looking. If you're near Greenfield, Indiana, and you know of a place that's renting that could accommodate me, that'd be great. I'm willing to look at it. But that is what I needed for the business, and it fell through. I got screwed out of it, actually, the way I look at it. But it's a bummer, you guys. So that's my goal. My goal is to end up detailing full-time, hopefully get an employee to help me detail. And if the detailing takes off good enough, which I think it will, because I get plenty of, look, I basically detail almost every weekend once it starts getting warm in the summertime. I have to turn people away because I get so busy. I think it'd work out really well. And then I could hire somebody to run the route, the delivery route and sales route. That is the end goal. The end goal is to me not have to really work a whole lot and have employees actually do the majority of the work as I'm getting older. But yeah, let's keep going. So with my garage being all jacked up right now, I am very limited on space, especially on this side of the truck. So we'll just have to do what we can. I don't have a lot of space here. But yeah, you guys, I was really mad about it. But you know what they say, things happen for a reason. I just keep holding out that there's a really good reason. And maybe something else is going to pop up. Because the thing is it was basically almost a week since I had first messaged him. So in that week's time, because he was like, oh yeah, you're first person. And he's like, you don't have any drains in the floor, so washing your cars would be hard. So that's fine. I do rinseless washing. That's not a big deal. I'm not worried about that. So I had all these lights and all these carts from these different companies so I could light that shop up. I had shelving. I had all kinds of stuff in a cart where I was ready. This is super slick. I really like this rinseless wash. And it seems to be cleaning really well. Nice thing is it's not leaving anything behind. Like if you ever use, I'm getting off subject here. If you ever use P&S as Absolute, and I like Absolute, cleans really well. I like the smell of it, everything. But when you're done, when you're wiping, you can see it's leaving some type of film behind because it's almost oily. I guess is the best way to say it. So I like that this one, I can tell that kind of like DIY details, because that's my favorite right now. I can tell that it's not leaving anything behind. So that's exactly what I want. I don't want to use a rinseless wash that leaves anything behind. Ooh, just hit the bucket. Unless it's like, Griot's Garage is ceramic rinseless, if I'm doing it on like a ceramic coated car. But typically I use a drying aid, so I have no need for the protection in it. Plus I find that protection seems to be a little bit streaky in a rinseless. You gotta be very careful. You can't let it dry. Like this, if this was to dry, I'm really not all that worried about it. But if you let something with like a SO2 in it dry, you're gonna see it and you're gonna have to take care of it pretty much immediately. So I like this. This is nice. And this spray wax, like I said, I've been testing this as a drying aid. I've used it on a surface that's dry. Because it just says drying aid on it, but I like to test products in ways that they say that aren't necessarily in the instructions. Off-label testing, how about that? Distinctive makes great products. It's so hard to sell, other than their aerosol, on my website, because people see it. You see the bottles, like I'll show you guys. You see the bottles, you don't get all excited, like you would with a company that really, like Grio's Garage's bottles and labels and stuff. These are basic, and that's because they aim towards dealerships. That's what they aim towards, and detail shops. They don't aim towards the DIYer. But their products are typically very highly dilutable, very concentrated. So you get a lot for your money, especially their degreasers. I think they're 10 to 1. A lot of their stuff, their wheel acids are dilutable, and I can't sell those on my website because I can't ship the acids. But like I said, you don't get excited when you look at it, but their products flat out work. And they've been in business since, I think, 2001. Maybe 2000 or 2001, right around there, because they just celebrated their 25th. So, but this, yeah, I'm liking this a lot, because I actually have some competition from a company called Patriot Detailing Supply. Make some noise here. They're out of, I think it's North Carolina, but they're kind of working their way into Indiana. The Midwest, I should say. Working their way into the Midwest. And so they have a product. I'm trying to think of the name of it. That's why I'm pausing here. I'm doing a Joey. What was the name of that? M67 detail spray. To me, it looks like Technician's Choice, that yellow product Technician's Choice has. I forget the name of it because I've never used it, but it looks just like it. Well, my dealerships are eating that stuff alive. They love it. Like, yo, Fab, if you got to come up with something like this, because here's the thing. I have met a few of my competitors, all super nice guys. Nothing wrong with that. We all know we're competitors. We can all respect each other. There's plenty of business in the market. There's plenty of cars in the market. But I've met a few of my competitors. Like, man, Fab, you're lucky. I'm like, why? You're like, well, your van is set up nicer than anybody else's, and your customers, they are loyal to you. I mean, and they say, man, Brian knows what he's talking about. Because, like, I know that the Car Bright guys, they inherited that business. Because I talked to my detailers, and they're like, if you ask him what his best degreaser is or what his best tire shine is, he's like, well, so and so says this one's really good. Me, I've tested every single product that's on my van. I've tested every product that's on my website. I know how everything is going to work. I know how to use certain products, know how to use them, once again, off-label. Where I can say, hey, this is great product, but if you use it like this, it's even better. I tell my detailers that. I try to help them out any way that I can. But I don't even know where I was going with this, but yeah, I've met my competitors, and they're all like, "Man, you're so lucky because your customers are very loyal." I wish that I could find more customers like that. I did write a letter here recently that I'm going to send out to dealerships across the state of Indiana, to all the general managers, basically stating that I'm here. Because I have not been to every dealership in the state of Indiana. But I'm gonna try to send one to every dealership. But I can save them money because here's the thing: the dealerships. Okay, so let's start over. When I started this business, or bought this business. When I bought this business, there was basically Car Bright and Impact, and then you had Meguiar's, which is a company called Harms that sells Meguiar's products. That was it. Then I came on scene. I became like the fourth distributor. Well, ever since I came on, there has been Shine Laboratories, Patriot, Adsco, and then there's one more, and it's a company that I've never heard of. Their label's really weird. So there's 4 in the last 3 years I did this that have joined after, or not joined after me, but have come to the market in Indiana after I did. So when I first started on the market, I was doing really good. I was getting tons of sales. I was doing really well. And these guys came along. Next thing I know, I'm seeing their bottles in the shops, and I'm asking, I'm saying, hey, you know what? Are you paying? Is it less? Does it cost you less? What do you like about that spray wax versus my spray wax? I want to know because I want to see what I can do to help them. So that's where this came into play. Is that M67? They say, oh, it's such a good drying aid. It doesn't streak, which this stuff does not streak either. As you guys can see, it looks so good. It doesn't streak. It's great as a spray wax. So this one looks pretty much just like it. Now, Distinctive, they are their own blender. They blend their own. But this looks just like what they're using in that bottle. So I can save them money. I guarantee it. Just like one of my dealerships, one of my best customers, I'll tell you, Ray Skillman GMC Kia dealership. They're on the same lot together, but they're separate. But they detail a lot of cars. They have like 6 or 7 detailers, and they detail a ton. They have been using Meguiar's, what's it called, hyper dressing for the engine bay. Spray on, you won't walk away. And he's like, man, this stuff is killing us in price. I mean, it's like $75, $80, or $90 a gallon ever since COVID. He said, can you come up with anything at all? So I contacted Distinctive. They sent me a couple samples. I sent him the sample, or I gave it to him the sample, and he messaged me and said, "This is it. Perfect." He goes, "Can you beat that price?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can do 5 gallons for $150. I can do 5 gallons of that." He's like, "Get it. Just get it ordered. I want it, and keep it in stock because we're going to buy from you. We're going to stop using the McGuire's because it's so expensive." I try to help my customers any way that I can. I give them samples all the time, just so they can, small bottles, so they can test something to see if they like it before they go in and they buy a gallon. They buy 5 gallons. They're like, "Man, Fab, I don't really like this," because we all have different tastes. We all have different interests. We all have different opinions of the way products work. I don't want to sell my customer 5 gallons and be disappointed. I want them to use it as a test bottle and say, "Yep, we really like that. We're going to buy 5 gallons of it," because then I'm a lot happier after that. But all right, we're almost done here. Let's do the front of the truck, and then I will do all this off camera just because it's hard to get to. And we probably won't do the wheels in this video, but we're going to use that wax topper because I'm really interested in seeing what that stuff will do. All right, so to kind of get back to the store, I actually went inside and ate some lunch really quick. So the store I actually don't have open during the winter. And the reason why is here in Indiana, nobody's really detailing much in the wintertime. I do have a sign on the store door, though, that says to give me a call, because I only live about 5 minutes, 6 minutes from the store. So I can get there pretty quick. And guess what? I think I had one person the entire winter call me, because when winter first came, I actually had the store open. I did it for 3 days, and for all 3 days, I didn't have a single person come in. I posted it online that we were open. Every day we were open, I constantly posted online, and nobody came in. So I was like, you know what? I understand that, because heck, I don't do much in the wintertime either, other than like rinseless. Now that rinseless is around, back in the day, I didn't do anything in the wintertime other than use a touch-free wash, which I still use periodically, a touch-free. I'd rather not, because they do use like high alkaline soaps. So those can degrade coatings. They can degrade your wax, whatever your protection is, your spray wax, whatever your protection is that's on the car, they can degrade. But I plan, hopefully, around April 1st to have the store open again. I need to make a video to show you guys what the store looks like, because it looks pretty nice. Me and Mrs. Fab put a lot of work into it. And the kids, really. The kids help us in everything that we do. But it looks pretty good, and I get a lot of compliments when people come in. Now, it doesn't look like, what's that called? The Detail Garage, which is the chemical guy's stores. In fact, I don't even know if they're even around anymore, because one in Indiana closed. It doesn't look like that, where I got, buckets everywhere, and we just have some shelving that's like L-shaped. There's a dead sweat bee. And then I have my checkout counter, which has stuff on it, brushes, air fresheners, bombs, stuff like that. Speaking of that, has anybody tried the bio bombs? I'm really thinking about reaching out to them to test out some of their products. I'd love to test them out and possibly sell them, especially to my dealerships. Because the dealerships, I have a product called Deodor Pro, which is really good from Distinctive, but it has a 6-hour wait time once you put it in there. And I hear BioBombs is like an hour or something like that. And when it comes to dealerships, time is money. You need to get the car out as soon as possible. So what I tell my guys is use it like right before you go home. That way it can sit overnight. And then you come in the morning and it'll be good to go. But it just has that chlorine dioxide scent to it, smell to it. And like I said, it works great, man. It gets rid of like everything. Weed, cigarette smoke, pet urine, any kind of stink that you have in the car. And I do sell them on the website, but they're very strong. You have to be very careful, and you have to read the directions on how to use them properly. But they have no scent, and I guess BioBombs has some that are scented. So I find that kind of interesting. I see them on other people's websites. Papa Smurf talks about them. So, and then Fred reached out to me, and he's been talking about them. Sorry I didn't answer the phone call, Fred. I was so busy that day you called me. But we'll talk in the future, I'm sure. But yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys. All right, so it is all done. Other than the wheels and tires, I have not done anything with those. No more spots everywhere as you guys saw earlier. Same as the roof. And then I went ahead and I did the cover also because it had spots all over it. Everything looks good, nice and glossy. And just a little bit of extra protection added to it with the drying aid. All right, so let's move on. So this wax topper that I'm going to test, what I want to do, I want to see how easy it is to apply. I want to see how easy it is to remove. Maybe set a timer or just watch the clock and figure out how long I wait to take it off. We'll probably take it off immediately at first just to see. I'll do a small section, take it off immediately. And then we'll do another section, maybe let it haze like a typical wax would do. I want to see if it'll fill any of these swirls and stuff, because as I've stated in past videos, I have yet to do anything to this truck since I bought it. I've just been so busy. As you can see, there's tons of swirls and scratches in it. That's the way it was when I bought it, because I bought it used. It's 2018. So what I want to do is just see what this stuff is going to do. So let me shake it up good, as you should any detailing product before you use it. I'm going to put a little bit on, hopefully. Oh, this stuff's thick. Come on. Okay, that's way more than what I wanted, but it's fine. And it doesn't have a smell. Once again, this is just their, let's just do it right here right in front of you guys. This is their first version of this. This does have protection in it. Has ceramic in it, SO2, which is not a coating, just ceramic. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and immediately wipe this section off, just because I've never used this. I don't know how fast it's going to bond. And I don't, I'm doing it on my truck just in case. Okay, that was too soon because it's grabby. So we definitely need to let it set up. Gosh, this paint is just absolutely trashed. But it's super slick compared to the other sides. So let's put a little bit more on here. We'll do a section above it. And what we're going to do is I'll turn the camera off and I'm going to let this dry to a haze and hope I don't regret it. The looks of it reminds me of Elmer's glue, and it kind of smells like it, to be honest with you guys. But let me show you what it looks like all spread out up close. This is the section that I just did. I'm trying to see if it looks like it covered up any of those swirls. I don't think it did. No, it didn't. Okay. We're going to let this thing cure. So it's been roughly 3 minutes, and you can see it's kind of disappearing. Now you can't see, especially when you get over here. You can see where I swiped it a little bit, still smeared. But I think we're going to go ahead and wipe it off. See how easy it is to wipe off. Yeah, I may have waited too long there, because I feel like I'm kind of smearing it. Yeah. But what we can do to remedy that is spray a little bit of water on it. Or a detail spray, but I'm trying to not put any protection on the surface, because I want to see what it's going to look like. That should get rid of that residue that I had left over. Yeah. That's a good way to help you get wax off. I'm just testing. If this was like a show car, I would not do that because there's no lubrication in water. But I don't want to add any protection with a detail spray, because most detail sprays have protection, because then it kind of kills my test so I can see the hydrophobics. Now it looks good, but that was definitely way too long. So this time I'm going to put it on. I'm going to wait 1 minute exactly, and then I'm going to wipe it off. I also might be putting on too much. So let's just put on a little tiny bit. Let me move you guys back. We'll do it right here on the front. Try to thin it out the best I can. Okay, set my stopwatch. We're gonna go 1 minute. So I really enjoy testing products for companies. I think it's so much fun because you get to see stuff that sometimes doesn't even make it to the market. You can see it's already like flashing. So it's got a very quick cure time. So you know what? We're not even gonna do that. We're gonna wait 30 seconds, which is pretty much right about now. Yep, it's right now. It still isn't much easier to remove, so we're gonna have to work on that. I mean, it wiped it off, no problem. At least I didn't let it go too long. This is obviously a wipe on, wipe off type product. Which is okay. I have no issues with that. Wipe on, wipe off. I have issues with being hard to remove, that type of thing. So the last section I have left is right here that I have not done. I'm gonna wipe it on and wipe it off immediately. Just so I can see. I'm gonna use a dry towel, one that I didn't get water on. So let's just say we put it on real quick. Okay. Yeah, it flashes really fast like that. And maybe that's the way that they designed it. I don't know. I can't imagine that it would bond well enough like that. I'm gonna use this wet towel, make sure I got it all. I can't imagine it would bond well enough like that. What I wanna do, I mean, it's got really good water beading for a wax. Look, you got beads inside beads, like that right there. What that means is if you have dirt on the surface, it's gonna rise to the top of that bead and take it off. Now that looks really good, but let's do it right here. Looks really good. Look at that, nice and tight. Now this is where I put the yellow wax. They look pretty good too, but no beads inside beads. Like we see over on the side that has ceramic. You can see bead inside a bead. Go ahead and flood it. It looks really good. We're just gonna have to work on that wipe off. So that's gonna do it for episode 3 of Wash and Talk, you guys. I do wanna mention something really quick because I've had a lot of people ask me about my detailing cart. I have a video on my detailing cart, you guys, how I built it. I got the idea from Ivan LaCroix when I was out at DIY Detail Studio in August, and I went home, I was like, I gotta build a cart like that because I loved it, the way functionality of it, seeing him work out of it, I loved it. But the people say, if you put water in the bucket though, isn't it gonna tip the cart over? No. So my rinseless wash bucket, it's clear and it has measurements. I put 3 gallons in it every time I do a rinseless wash. Put it in there, 0 issues. It's stout, you guys. The pad washer that you guys see right here, it only holds about 1 gallon of water, so no big deal. Honestly, I could probably sit on that and it's not going to tilt. I'm not gonna try it, but I could probably sit on it. It's probably not gonna tilt. My daughter could probably definitely sit on it, and it's not gonna tilt. This thing is really good. I got the cart at Harbor Freight, and just build everything else myself, my polisher holder, my bottle holder, and then everything inside the drawer. Great idea. If you've never seen the cart, go watch the video on how I built it. It's pretty simple. Just need a few tools and you're good to go. So in this video, I used the rinseless wash that I used in last week's video on a ceramic coated car, but this time on a non-ceramic coated car. And it's slick. It's exactly what you want when it comes to a rinseless wash. Me, I want it to clean the dirt off the surface and I want it to be slick. That's it. And I don't want to leave anything behind. I don't want to leave any type of wax behind, especially when I'm working on a car like this. Unless it was ceramic coated, I wouldn't mind using a ceramic rinseless, but they're kind of a pain in the butt to deal with. I like not having to rush because when you use like a ceramic rinseless, you have to make sure you get it dry quick. You don't want it dry on the surface. Well, that takes the fun out of it for me. This is fun. I don't get in a rush. As you guys see, I do multiple panels at a time. I talk to you guys. Panels are still wet. It doesn't bother me if it dries. If it dries, I'll just reactivate it with water and then we'll basically be good to go. That's a good rinseless wash. And this Easy Shine Yellow, eventually I'll have this on my website once I make another order. I only make orders through them usually once a month. They're big orders, but once a month I make an order through them. But this is going to be fantastic for dealerships. It's going to be fantastic for you guys. I mean, if I know distinctive details, like I know distinctive details, the price for a quart is going to be comparable to most people's price for 16 ounces. You're going to get double the amount. And it works really well. You don't dilute this at all, and you can use it on a dry surface also. I have done that. Works really, really good, so I can't wait to start carrying that in the store. The wax topper needs some work. I'm going to talk to them about them. I'm going to call them here when I get off the phone with you guys. Well, actually, when I get done making my video, I'm going to call them on the phone. Once I get done with this video, I'm going to call them and talk to them about the rinseless and just, I mean, I love it. And I think that was version 1. It was so good. I'm talking to them about that. I'm going to talk to them about the topper. Let's figure out how we can make it easier to remove, make sure it doesn't leave anything like any residue behind that you can actually see it's kind of cloudy like I was seeing there. The water behavior is fantastic. We don't want to change that. We want to keep that the same. And I'd like to have a good scent because to me, it's like Elmer's glue. That's the best way I can put it. I don't really care for the scent of that product. But you guys, I love these wash and talks, and I'm glad that you guys like them. It's easier for me. I feel like I'm connecting with you guys more by doing the wash and talk. So what I want to do in this wash and talk video, I don't know when I'm going to do my next wash and talk because I got a lot going on here in the next month. We got a lot going on in my family. But I want you guys to leave your question for me in the comments of this video of what you want me to answer in the next wash and talk video, whenever that is. Hopefully it's in the next week or so, next 2 weeks. Just leave me a question in the comment section. Just make a separate comment. So if you want to comment like, hey, great video, you guys always do, which I really appreciate those comments, and you want to talk about this video, awesome. But then make a separate comment for me with just the question. That way, what I do is I highlight them, copy, paste, and then I print them off so I can actually do the questions on the wash and talk video. So I really appreciate that, you guys, and I appreciate you guys more than you'll ever know, to be honest with you guys. This YouTube thing is not easy. It's very hard to get your channel built. I've got a great fab family. All my subscribers, love every one of you, appreciate every one of you guys, and we'll see you guys in the next video.